Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Supplementarian. Are you under pressure? If you are, it may be affecting your blood pressure. So, here we are today to discuss blood pressure. I'm Elizabeth Dyer, the Supplementarian, and I have with me my coworker, Jayne Rizner. Jayne, say hello to everyone.
Hey, everybody.
So today, we want to talk about what a healthy blood pressure is, what it means, and what you can do to help correct it if your blood pressure is too high. And by the time we see smoke coming out your ears, we know your blood pressure's through the roof. So let's not get to that point. Let's make sure we keep everybody calm, cool, collected, and your blood pressure under control. So Jayne, explain to everybody what blood pressure means. What does it mean when we get those readings at the doctor?
Blood pressure is measured in units of milligram of mercury, and it is just the measurement of how, when your heart contracts, it sends blood into your vessels. And so the top number, which should be around 120, 110 preferably, that's how much pressure when your heart contracts. But there's another phase when your heart relaxes. That's your diastolic blood pressure. So there's another amount of pressure when your heart is relaxed. So when your heart contracts, when your heart muscle contracts, that's one number, the top number. And then when your heart muscle relaxes, you still have blood going through your veins, but the pressure is much less. So that should be around 60 or 70.
All right. So if people are going to the doctor or testing this at home and their numbers are nowhere near that, should they be concerned if it happens
They
once?
should be concerned,
or
yeah.
should we be more concerned if it's a constant thing?
Yeah, and it could happen once or twice. You could be anxious and nervous about some things and then have to run after your dog for a few miles or something like that. Then, yeah, you can have episodic, high blood pressure. It's not even really a diagnosis. It just happened once or twice, in that year. But if it's chronically high, then yeah, that's a real issue, a real concern.
And
because your heart muscle is beating too hard. That's what it tells you, that your heart muscle is contracting too hard, and the heart muscle will then thicken, and then that will lead to heart disease.
yeah, so basically you're making your heart work too hard to do its job.
Yeah.
And none of us want to go to work and feel like we have to work twice as hard to get half the work done. And that's the way your heart's going to feel if your blood pressure is too high. So it's really important to keep that in check. And it doesn't require medication to keep it lowered. There's lots of supplements out there that can be helpful to keep your blood pressure in check and you feeling your best. So let's go over a few of those, Jayne. I know last time we mentioned CoQ10, and CoQ10 is a big one for our total body health, and it's really great and mentioned a lot for heart health and especially for the blood vessels, not just the heart itself.
Yeah, several studies have shown that CoQ10, just simply the addition of CoQ10, can reduce your systolic, which is your top number, by about 17 points, and your bottom number by about 10 points. So that's a lot when you think about it. Those are really good results.
Yeah, and so if your blood pressure
all by itself.
Yeah, so if your blood pressure is not really high, CoQ10 by itself may be enough to fix it.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need other things, and there's lots of other supplements and things that work together with the CoQ10 to provide relief. And I know one of those a lot is just our regular vitamins. If you've got a good multivitamin, you're getting your A vitamin and your B vitamins and your C and your D and all those in there. Those vitamins work to help keep our heart healthy and therefore also our blood pressure in check. And to go with those, trace minerals can be really important, especially like potassium, calcium, and other things like that can be important as well to our heart health and keeping our blood pressure in that normal range that we want it to stay in as much as possible.
Yeah, because the chemical process, it takes your trace minerals, particularly magnesium, potassium, and calcium. They are what make the muscles move to contract and then move to relax. And being deficient in any of those things are going to muck up your system, and they'll either contract and not let go properly, or they'll relax and not contract properly. And that none of that is a good event for your heart. Like, you could deal with a muscle cramp in your calf because you didn't have enough magnesium on board, but not in your heart. Because as we pointed out in an earlier podcast, if your heart doesn't work, you can't work.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And muscle cramps are almost always caused by a shortage in magnesium or potassium. In fact, we talk about if you wake up in the morning and your legs cramping, you're probably low on potassium. But if it happens at the end of the day or after an exercise, you're probably low on magnesium. So keeping those two trace minerals in check is really critical. And we can't forget that our heart is a muscle. And you've got to take care of that muscle the same as you do all the rest. Because you can imagine it hurts when you have a leg cramp. If your heart's cramping, you're having a heart attack. It's far more severe. So if you don't like leg cramps, you know you're already short on one of those two minerals. Get those in your diet immediately, because that means your heart's short on it too.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to the vitamins, the minerals, the CoQ10, there's also a variety of botanicals that are great for blood pressure. And one of those talked about a lot is garlic.
Yeah. Garlic and hawthorn. I think all supplements for blood pressure work really well if they have at least one of those two ingredients. I don't know why hawthorn. Some people just take hawthorn all by itself for blood pressure, and that helps. But we have some good combinations, and I love taking supplements in combination, because a lot of times it's hard to know for your individual body exactly what will make it balance out. So sometimes just garlic would balance out your blood pressure. Sometimes just hawthorn. But if you don't have that information, or you're not sure, and you have fear already involved because your blood pressure's high, I would recommend you take one of these supplements. Like, this is called Kyolic, which is aged garlic extract, but it includes nattokinase and also L-theanine, which is an amino acid.
Yes.
And so this has a high potential to be exactly what you need. And it has all of that in it. Yep, and that's all it has in it. But the nattokinase is kind of new, buzzing around. It's an adaptogen good for so many different things. So you would never be sorry that you looked up on a supplement that included that. It makes your body work better.
Yeah, and the advantage of taking a supplement like that is you're getting 3 products in one, and some of them you're getting even more than that. So you're not having to sit here and take 10 different pills. You're taking 1 or 2 with everything in it together. And I know we have another one from, I believe it was BioNutrition, that is really great, and I've recommended to a lot of people for high blood pressure.
Yeah, this one is really packed. It has hawthorn and garlic. It has CoQ10, and it has several vitamins, vitamin D, and then it has calcium, magnesium, and potassium, which we already talked about being very beneficial. It has the L-arginine also, along with celery seed, rosemary extract, grapeseed extract, and forskolin. Really amazing combination of supplements, of herbs and minerals, all that work well for blood pressure. I don't think you could be sorry that you had a good supplement like this. And like Elizabeth pointed out, you're taking one thing, one vitamin, you're paying for one bottle of supplements, but you're getting so much in that. And so often supplements work so much better and are more absorbable in combination than on their own. But some people do, like I said, take just the hawthorn. It works great for them. But when you don't know what's going to work for you, and when you are newly diagnosed, a combination medication is so beneficial. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, and that BioNutrition, I actually recommended to somebody who had to have their blood pressure checked for work, for their physical, and they had it checked just a couple weeks before. They were continually running high, and they were keeping a check on it every day. We got them on that supplement, and within 2 weeks they were back in the normal range and past their physical, and was feeling so much better. And so they come and take that all the time to keep their blood pressure in check, along with doing the extra exercise and the box breathing that we recommend to keep the stress levels down, so that it's not this anxious response to life that's creating the high blood pressure. And this gives our body everything it needs to work and do what it's supposed to be doing on its own. It just sometimes falls out of balance, out of whack. So anything we can do to cause an improvement in our health is going to make our whole life better.
So true.
All right, so anything else we want to mention as far as blood pressure here?
I think that's all I'm really aware of. I think we've covered a lot of ground. Yeah.
Yep. So if you need anything, come by, see us at S&S Smoothies and Supplements on Merchants Walk, or message us online if you're not here in the area. We can ship supplements anywhere in the United States, because our goal is to help you live the best life possible by taking the best care of your health we can. So thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for another episode of the Supplementarian next week. Have a great week, everybody, and stay healthy.